Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Calcio Corner. Jersey Joe Archino, joined with our Serie A extraordinaire Martino Puccio. Martino, the last time we were in this booth, AC Milan was coming off arguably their biggest win of the season in the derby against Inter Milan. Now they continue their good form with a win against Palermo the other day, 2-0. Let me ask you first, what consistency have they been finding themselves to get this win against Palermo the other day?
I really think it's been the link-up play between the midfielders. They're more sort of attacking midfielders up on the wings because they play the 4-4-2. But it's really been the link-up play between them and the midfielders on the side with Honda and Bonaventura and Niang and Baca. As long as Baca gets his shots off, which they've been able to give to him, he's going to score because his conversion rate's 50%. So every two shots the guy takes, which is the best in the league, he scores, and that's huge. It's not just like scoring the goals, which they have done in the past. You know, they just score one goal and they eke it out, kind of like what Inter does. But it's the chances. They're getting more chances to score, and the more chances you give Baca, obviously, you get them 4 shots a game, it's 2 goals, and that's been the big factor for them.
Now, let me ask you this. This is a side that we've seen that really hasn't packed that much of a punch offensively. They score 3 against Inter Milan. They score 2 now against Palermo. Are they starting to kind of find their offensive punch now?
I think it's been the main guy has been Niang, who really needs to. He got off on that scoring drought back a couple of years ago. He hit the post against Barcelona that probably would have sent them into the next round and knocked out Barca in the Champions League. But ever since he hit that post, it's been a long time coming for him just to get his goal in the league, his first goal in the league, and he has. And it's one of those situations with a guy who just needs to get one, and then he might not stop scoring. And that's what it's been. He, even though it was a penalty, he was the one who demanded the penalty from Baca, which is you really like to see from someone who just turned 21 years of age. And that's really important. And they have solid backups too. They have Balotelli and Adriano, so it's good to know that a guy can come in on 3 or 4 days rest or whatever it is and still have the energy to create and score like he has.
Now, we'll kind of look at the table right now to kind of situate where AC Milan is right now, finding themselves in 6th place with 39 points. But Roma with 41 and Inter at 44 now don't seem like too big of a leap forward. Is it realistic at this point to say if AC Milan continues to find themselves that they could maybe surpass a Roma for 5 or maybe even jump a little bit forward to 4?
I actually was looking at their schedule today, and they really got the tough ones out of the way. They've Roma's the last fixture. They still have to play Napoli and Juve, but the big thing was they beat Inter and Fiorentina to start the second half of the season, which gives them better position to move up because once they face those tough teams and they beat them, they got the 3 points. And like I said the other day, they need to get the 3 points against clubs like Palermo or the Genoas and the Udinese. If they keep doing that, then they have a shot. Say they just draw against Napoli or Juve, that's going to be huge. And they, if they keep doing that, it's just all about leagues is what like what I said last time. It's just beat the teams you're supposed to beat and grind out results against the top teams, and then you have a shot because they're not that far out. I think they're only 6 out of the Champions League spot, and that's Fiorentina for the 3rd spot. So they really do have a shot now. It's just consistency.
Consistency certainly is the biggest thing, and I think you made the great point there. They're taking care of who they need to take care of. If we look at the English Premier League right now, Leicester City is obviously in first place, and it's kind of that exact thing. They've taken care of everybody they've been supposed to take care of. The Arsenals and the Manchester Cities have struggled in that regard. Now we'll flip the switch back to Serie A for a minute. We couldn't really do this segment without talking about the top of the table for a minute. Juventus kind of finds themselves in 2nd place on the 13-match winning streak, the first time in club history that has happened. Napoli has really not skipped a beat so far. These two sides play against each other, not next weekend, but the weekend after that. Do you think this match is going to determine who emerges as the Scudetto winner this year?
Sometimes it might come down to that because a couple years ago when Juve first won the league, when it started on its run right now, they played against Milan and they drew that game, and what happened was the tide really turned, and it's just not a result against those two top teams. But I feel like the way Napoli is playing, I don't think they're gonna skip a beat. If they grind out a 2-1 win or a 1-0 win, it all looks like it's over. They don't fault up against those mid-table teams, below-table teams. Juve's had some tough games. Yesterday they only won by
Yeah,
an own goal.
An own goal.
Yeah, so,
Against Genoa.
Morata's been on he's had a real tough season. They've had trouble keeping their midfield healthy, but it's really been Pogba and Dybala who've really just been their rocks, along with Buffon is still, he's the greatest ever. So as long as they get great goalie play too, they're going to be in it for the long run. I think it'll probably go down to the last 2 to 3 match days before there's a determined winner, but well, it could swing momentum for the whole thing depending on that game. I could definitely see that. It looks like it's just going to be those two for the rest of the time for the Scudetto, though. I don't think anyone else is going to be challenging them.
And that the final point I think we'll make is now we'll go back to AC Milan, the way we start, the way we finish. That's why I think you kind of have to be hopeful, too, that maybe they could finish in that third spot. I mean, it seemed like early in the season it was really going to be quite a battle, but it's really emerged as a two-way race between Napoli and Juve, and I think that really keeps it open for AC Milan to sneak up that table.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is they've had their most points through this many games. I think there've been 23 matches. This is the most amount of points they've had since they finished third a few years ago when they had Allegri in his last full season. And it's crazy because they're only in sixth, and that year they were in third place, and you could see the difference in quality across the whole league. Inter's gotten better, Roma's been better, Napoli and Juve are at top, like Fiorentina's still hanging around, and it's crazy to see. It gives the league a better reputation, which is really important because everyone, when they think of Serie A now, they just think of, oh, it's just been Juve winning the league and there's corruption in it. But now it's like, hey, there's 6 teams that are of quality, and they're doing well, and you never know what could happen, and that's what's really exciting about it.
Quality on the pitch, quality in the booth. That's all we stand for. Jersey Joe Archino here with Martino Puccio. We'll be back next time for all your AC Milan and Serie A updates. Keep it locked in to Calcio Corner.